Hey, what's up? It's LP, and if you're a filmmaker or a freelancer, I have some tips to help you stay ahead of the game when work is slow. A small disclaimer, I'm not an accountant or a financial advisor. This is just advice and tips that I've learned myself over the years working as a freelance filmmaker. Tip number one is to start your own business so you can get a sole proprietorship, and if you don't want the business run under your own name, you can get a DBA, which is a doing business as, and you can create your own business name that you can then do all of your 1099 invoice jobs through that business. You can also get your own EIN number from the IRS so that you can do it through that EIN number instead of your social security number when you're filling out a W-9. And then also, a lot of states, I'm in the US, I'm in Los Angeles, so California, after a certain amount of time, they'll notice that you're starting to do all this work in 1099s, and they'll actually send you a letter saying, hey, you actually have to start a business. And so you'll actually have to file in your city a sole proprietorship or a limited liability company to do those 1099 jobs. The benefit to having your own sole proprietorship or DBA or LLC, depending on what line of work you're in, you can write off certain expenses as part of your business. So if you work at home, measure out the physical space that your home office takes up in your house, and you can then write a percentage of your rent, your utilities, that's like your internet, your water, your electricity, and you can write that off on your taxes every year. And then you can also, any expenses like, if you buy a new computer, say, you're an editor or a graphic designer or a web designer and you need a new computer or laptop, you can buy that through your business and then write it off in your taxes. Like I said, there's, sole proprietorships and LLCs, and then also you can do S Corp, but that gets really complicated when you start getting into the LLC and S Corp stuff. You have to make a certain amount of money for it to even be worth it. So, definitely talk to an accountant or a financial advisor and get them to figure out what's best for you. At the least, you're gonna have to, most cases, do the sole proprietorship, and you can do the DBA with that. Tip number two is to live within your means. Basically, don't spend more than you can afford, right? So you might have like a stretch of like 3 months or 6 months where you're doing a lot of work and you're making a decent amount of money. Don't go out and be like, oh, I made a lot of money, it's gonna be great, and buy a fancy new car or fancy new something. And then, maybe the next few months, you don't work very much at all. So, you have to, kind of be smart about your finances and don't spend more than what you can afford. Tip number three, keep enough money in your savings account that will cover all of your expenses. That's, rent, utilities, food, gas, whatever it is that you have monthly bills of. Save up enough money to keep at least 3 months, and if you can, stretch it to 6 months in your savings account. So that way, when work does inevitably stop coming in for a little bit, you're not gonna freak out and panic. You have that buffer in your savings account to kind of cushion you through those slow months. Being a freelancer, you're perpetually unemployed, right? So you wanna have that safety net for when work does slow down a lot. You're not stressed out. You're not worrying like, how am I gonna pay the bills this month? Because you'll have that 3 to 6 month buffer and you'll be fine. And then inevitably, more work will start to come in and it's gonna ebb and flow. But having that safety net will save you a lot of stress and headache. Tip number four is to pay off your highest interest debts first. Everyone pretty much has student loan debt, and the interest rates on student loans are pretty low and the payments are pretty low. So, keep paying those. But if you have a high interest like credit card debt, try to pay that off first if you can. And if you can afford it, pay above the minimum payment. So that way, the sooner you pay that off, the less interest you're gonna pay over time, and you're gonna save yourself some money. Tip number five, plan for retirement as soon as you can. Yeah, I know, maybe you're in your early 20s or you're just coming out of college and you're like, oh, what do I have to worry about retirement for? As a freelancer, we don't get the luxury of people that work 9 to 5 jobs at companies. A lot of people get 401k plans through their employer, and then they will also match up to a certain percentage of money. It's literally free money. They will give you a percentage of what you put in every year. So people that work 9 to 5 jobs, they have access to those. As a freelancer, you don't get access to a 401k or anything like that. You are responsible for your own retirement. So as soon as you can, start saving up for your retirement. Open a Roth IRA and max it out if you can. Every year, max it out. So I think right now the maximum every year is $6,000. And if when you're starting out, you're probably not going to be able to max it out every year. But make sure you're putting something in every month, even if it's just $50 a month, $25 a month. Put something in, because you're going to thank yourself later on when you start getting older, and you're going to be like, I need that retirement money. Now there's also a SEP IRA, which I think is like a self-employment IRA, and it kind of acts like a 401k for the self-employed. And so it increases the amount that you can put into it as opposed to a Roth IRA. Talk to an accountant or a financial advisor. I believe you can have both. I personally don't have a SEP IRA yet. I want to do that, but you can put in 20% of your 1099 income into the SEP IRA. So however much you're making, you get to put a percentage of that in instead of being capped to a hard number like a regular Roth IRA. Tip number 6, invest in yourself and grow your business. Let's say in your line of work, you can get some kind of educational certification that will get you more clients. Then you should probably just pay and take the classes and get that certification. Or maybe there's some piece of equipment or gear that you can buy that will bring in more work for you. Do the research and consider investing in that education or that equipment to help grow your business. As a filmmaker, I've bought camera gear that I bring with me to a lot of jobs, and I rent in addition to my daily rate. So that gives me extra income than just my daily rate. Tip number 7, invest in passive income. Like the previous example of investing in yourself and in things that will grow your business, invest in things that will get you money without you having to work. For example, I also own a set of Leica R lenses, and I have them modded to be used with cinema cameras. And so I can rent them to productions, and I don't even have to do anything. I literally just give them to the production, they give me the money, they rent them for a few days, and then they bring them back. And I literally will sit at home making money. That's passive income. You don't have to do any extra work to get paid. So if there's something in your line of work that you can rent to people or something like that will get you income while you're just sitting at home, then absolutely something you should consider investing in. Or maybe you're an artist and you can put your work on some kind of online marketplace, and it's just sitting there, and it could, generate some cash flow for you by just being on that marketplace. Tip number 8 is, if you're gonna make a large purchase, get a business loan or a personal loan. Now, let's say you have the cash to buy this equipment or computer or whatever it is. I would advise maybe don't pay for it all in cash. What you could do, and what I've done, is I will get a loan for it from the bank, like a personal business loan from the bank, and then I will pay for it with a credit card to get the points or rewards back on the credit card, and then I immediately will take the loan money and pay off the credit card. Now, this is great because you're getting the bonus cash back or points or whatever from your credit card. You're getting low interest with the loan, and you're also building your credit. So, combining all these 3 things together, you're getting the best of each one, right? So it's a little bit of extra time consuming, but in the long run, it's worth it because you're gonna save yourself money, you're gonna build your credit, and you're not gonna lose your capital, right? So you're gonna have your cash still sitting in the bank instead of it just being gone, poof, instantly. Personally, I think this is the best strategy when making large purchases. I'm talking, you're spending like thousands of dollars, like, $2, $5, $10, $20 plus $1,000. This is, in my opinion, the best way to do it. And again, I am not an accountant or a financial advisor. This is just from my experience, and I think it's a pretty good approach to doing a lot of this stuff. And so, talk to an accountant, talk to a financial advisor, figure out what's best for you financially and personally, work the system, save yourself money, do whatever you can that will put you in a position to make more money. I hope this video helps you prepare for the ups and downs of being a freelancer. In my opinion, freelance work is the best way to work. You're your own boss and you can take time off whenever you want. I could never see myself working a 9-to-5 job, but it's not for everyone. And maybe you're considering, jumping into being a freelancer and you used to work a 9-to-5. This will kind of give you an idea of what you should be prepared for and how to be prepared for it. So I hope this really helps you out. Let me know in the comments below your experiences being a freelancer and what you've done to prepare yourself financially. Thanks again for watching. Hit that subscribe button for me. See you in the next one. Going off walkie.